we're heading off to a doctor's appointment.
Docty? What
Yeah, I said that. Docty, okay? Docty appointment. Kato coffee's in my system and I'm hyper. Anyway, I'm wearing my new shirt again. And, so yeah. Oh, shit. I don't want to look like a mess. Baby. Alright guys, so here's the update. I took him to see his new counselor. She could already identify sensory processing disorder, tics disorder, because he has tics disorder because she can see that he blinks and grunts constantly. Maybe mild autism because he likes to line up his things and things have to be straight, or he's unhappy. And he has sensory processing disorder. She could tell by the way he covers his ears when there's noise. He can't have tags on his clothes. And there's so many other things. So I didn't really have a morning. Basically we got up and we were late, so we had to rush out the door. And I explained to you what happened when we got to the counseling session. So yeah, she saw sensory processing disorder, tics disorder, ODD, ADHD, and a bunch of other things, mild autism. She told me that they don't refer people to Sunny Hill. That's a pediatrician's way of doing it. She said that I'd have to go through a pediatrician, and then they would refer me, and then I'd get assessment for him. But because I already had an assessment from his doctor who has a background in psychology and psychiatric department, so he diagnosed him already with two things, ODD and ADHD. So I brought that to the school. They're photocopying those papers, and he's going to write up a safety plan, and then me and Johnny have to sign it. This is only a temporary H designation, but temporary or not, that's better than nothing. Basically, an H designation is high risk situation, right? He's a high risk of running away if he's unhappy, high risk of violent behavior if he gets overwhelmed or anxious or paranoid. So that's what I needed, you know? So I did it. I worked really hard on it. They've seen that I worked really hard, and the school is really, really happy that I've been doing this for him. Well, of course I would do this for him. Like, you know, I would go above and beyond for my kid. Like, you know, I'd do anything for my kid. This was one of those things. So now we're home. I had to walk home because Johnny wanted to go to the doctor, so he's not feeling good. And so I had to walk home, and I have to walk up the hill at 12:30 to go get him. Okay guys, so today has been a crazy day. Like, counseling appointments this morning, school, picking up the kid from school, little one screaming like most of it, and trying to figure out like life in general, you know? Like, it feels like when I get 2 steps ahead, I kind of jump back 5,000, it feels like, you know what I mean? And then I move 2 more steps ahead, and yeah. So today I've been trying to like put it into perspective for myself, like seriously get my brain on board with the mindset that I'm gonna need for the rest. OMG, I wish this was longer than 15 seconds. It's really hard to talk. Anyway, might as well just do a live, right? Damn. At least with a live. But it's chaotic here, so it's unpredictable what's gonna happen. Gonna come through here walking around naked, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna have to delete the video that I just made and then make another one, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier with this 15-second thing, but I just wish it was a little longer than 15 seconds because I have a lot to say. And I can't speak. Okay, so I need to put my head in the right zone. You know, every day I have to actively change my brain from mom and wife to businesswoman to get some things done. Now you want to know what my reality looks like? Seriously, my reality looks like this. I'm going to show you. Raw. I'm showing you raw materials here. I'm waiting for an online Zoom training for tonight. Have my books here. I'm about to get ready to work while I listen to the kids calm down a little bit. I may have to redo the video again if it... Actually, no, I'm going to keep it so you guys can understand my situation when I'm trying to work. So now they're screaming. Okay, so Daddy's coming into the house now. And I hope he deals with that. Anyway, so I have my computer here just in case I need it for whatever reason. Like, sometimes when I'm helping a person get their order and I have to go through the website with them. So, I have to have my computer here. When I'm helping somebody get started with their business, I have to have my computer here so I can explain things like citizen ID. It's basically just your social insurance number. Now guys, the other thing is, I'm very exhausted after a long day of the things I have to do from 6:30 a.m. in the morning to midnight at night. That's literally the day that runs. And I really don't like having to do all these videos explaining. I'd rather it was just one long video, but like I said, it's unpredictable here, and I need to have that, you know, little. But this is as live as you're gonna get until I can figure out how to tame my kids so that they know when I'm working not to be loud in the background. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is how my day goes every day. 6:30, I wake up. I play some Nickelback to jump my husband out of bed. Go make me a Kato coffee. For real, it works. Then I drink my Kato coffee, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. We're rushing around here, waking up the kids, getting them dressed, and getting their stuff, well, Logan's stuff for school. Then from 7:15 till 7:30, 7:45, I'm getting ready to take him to school. Then, from 8 until 8:30, just before we leave, that's the time I take to follow new people and unfollow those who haven't followed me. And also message whoever messaged me. So I follow. Then, I do my first post of the day around that time. Sometimes I miss it and I do it right after I drop them off. Sometimes I do it while I'm dropping them off. It really depends, but I try to do it just before I leave. Then we leave at 8:30. I walk up a steep, like elliptical, steep hill to get him to school. Okay? Takes me like 15-25 minutes to get up this hill. It's real bad. I know I'm gonna have glutes like a bodybuilder when I'm done this year. I know it. I just know this. Anyway, so then we get him to school. I talk to the principal for a few minutes. Then I leave. I get home at 9:30. At 9:30 when I get home, after dragging the stroller up the staircase, which today I got congratulated by some teachers. They didn't understand how I can just roll around the hills like this with us. I talk to them like they're my girlfriends, like I've known them forever, right? And I'm like, girl, you don't even know. It's so hard, but I'm gonna get used to it. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna have glutes like a champion. Anyway, back to the story. So 9:30 I get home. I sit down on my chair at my desk and I check my social media to see if I got any messages while I was taking him to school and walking back home. Then after I do that, I make breakfast for Lucas. Lucas sits down, watches TV, eats his breakfast. Sometimes I feed him because he likes me feeding him. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just say, feed yourself, it's toast, you can do that. And so I give myself a good half-hour rest recovery time from walking up and down that hill. Let me tell you, walking down isn't as easy as walking flat. It's hard both ways. Either way it's hard because coming down you have to restrain the stroller coming back down. So you're using your glutes that first got burned from going up. Now you're burning them going down, you know. So I need a half hour. 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock is when I do my wife's stuff. Load of laundry if I can. Sometimes I can't lift after I get home, so I just don't. Dishes, for sure, because I just have to stand and wash, so that's good. I don't have to bend and push stuff into a dishwasher, so I just stand there and do the dishes. Then I start thinking about dinner, and I don't know why, but I always do this at around 10 o'clock. I start thinking about dinner. So I plan dinner. I don't do anything for it yet. It's around 10:30 now, so then I sit down and I get my photo ready for my 12 o'clock post, which is usually a product post. I do a couple of these videos in between my day, as you know. I do these videos talking about what happened this morning, or showing you what my day so far and whatnot. And then after doing that, I go and check on my plants, which I haven't been filming recently, sorry. But it's been nasty outside, like disgusting. It's been raining. So I just don't film outside because I don't want my phone wet. But I check my plants, and then I come in, and it's usually around 11ish. Then I call John. Me and Johnny chat about like the week that's coming up, the weekend, what we're gonna do, blah blah blah. Then it's 12 o'clock all of a sudden, and I have to change Lucas, make sure that he's dressed and ready to go by 12. So usually just before I leave at 12:30, Lucas has a poopy, and then I have to change the poopy, and then we get into the stroller and walk up the hill to pick up Logan by 1 o'clock. Today I was late because of my counselor. I was 20 minutes late. I picked him up at 1:20 because I was on the phone with his new counselor. It's our counselor, family counselor, I don't know. Talking to her about the program that we are going in next Friday. I pick Logan up, we get home by 1:30. That's when I literally sit down and actively work my business until about 3 o'clock. Because they'll go in the backyard and play. So they're gone. Playing. Quiet. Great. So that's when I reach out. I reach out to people. I comment, like on photos. I actively engage with people. I will also either do a blog post, and then I go back in my messages to see who messaged me and I didn't message back. I just read the message and didn't reply, kind of thing. Then I reply to those messages. Then I look through my calendar of the last 2 days, see who I'm supposed to follow up with them. And then by then it's 3 o'clock. I call Johnny, ask him, is it okay if I make this for dinner? He says yes. We hang up at about 3:30, and I start preparing. So I prepare the dinner. Then I cook the dinner around 4:30. Dinner's ready by 5 o'clock. Johnny gets off work at 5:30, gets home at 6 o'clock. In between the time that I'm cooking and not cooking, I set aside the food for the kids. Sometimes I'll do up Johnny's food for him so that it's ready to go when he gets home. He just eats. Then I'll go in here because I have a Zoom coming up at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I listen to self-development audiobooks while I do some more reaching out, messaging those who I need to message back. My 5 o'clock post, which is usually depending on whether or not I have a Zoom or not. It will depend on whether or not I post exactly at 5 or a little later. Or if there's like hectic things going on, like the kids fighting at the dinner table, or if I have to feed Lucas. Lucas takes 3 hours to eat. So now we're going to do post-Zoom. So after the Zoom, it's around 7:30. Last time it was 8 o'clock because we were doing a huge training. So it was 7 o'clock. And then I was off the Zoom at 7. And then make Logan's lunch for the next day. And then pop it in the fridge, ready for the next morning. And then I start winding down for the evening. We're trying to put the kids to bed at 7:30. While we're trying to put the kids to bed, I'm in here watching live videos from Jade, following up with messages that I received in between dinner making and feeding kids and all that. And then around 9:30 is when I usually turn out the lights in here, because that's the only time they'll sleep, is if the lights are out. And I actively try to go to sleep, but sometimes I can't, so I sit up and I'll work on my phone. Literally, they don't pass out before 11:30, 12 o'clock, so I'm like laying in here for 3 hours in the dark, playing on my phone, talking to people, scrolling, liking, commenting, actively. And then I wake up at 6:30 and do it all over again. So that's literally my reality in a nutshell. One day I'm probably gonna do like 15-second video of my whole day, like from start to finish. Actually, I'm gonna choose tomorrow to do that. I'm gonna show you, yeah, let's do that. Y'all can watch my reality. Call it the Stacy reality show.